my god. I guess I'm supposed to be healing. I think that's a good thing, because I've done like nothing but botanas and arcatrazes so far. I don't really, as much as I need rep with Shatar, I guess I don't really want to do any more of the fucking, at least for a little while, you know. That's all I've done. That's all there's been groups for. So we're gonna do a Shattered Halls. And it's one of those things with pickups for pugs or whatever for heroics is, what's your gear score? What's your gear score? I'm like, fucking, all my gear is fucking terrible. And so I'm gonna try and get a few more pieces. Like well, I can't use a sword as a priest. You know what I mean? Try to get a few more pieces and then figure out what to do. Hello? Yeah, me too. I don't know if my spec does or doesn't make sense, but I'm not necessarily worried about trying to get it all situated just a second, but oh my god. Are you on my team? Wait. Fuck. This is a level 67. These guys aren't even level 60, guy. Shatter Hall's gonna be rough. Meanies. Oh, is it difficult? 69 tank, 67 priest. Was he DPSing? Oh, what an embarkment this is going to be. Thought I would chime in and try to help, but I'm thinking like probably whatever. It's gonna be more of a headache than anything. I don't think I've ever had the key to this. I know I've never had the key to Arcatraz. Well, we got people like not trying to attack us, but somebody have the key. I hope. Holy dude. What is our group composition? Chud, are you tanking? Oh man. We're those guys right now. Godspeed. Godspeed. Are you sure we're gonna be on the same layer? It's two of them both logged. That's good. It's a good sign. What is going on? Did he open the gate? I'm super confused. What the fuck just happened? Sylvia, I keep forgetting to get the goddamn. It's because getting the goddamn Stormwind or Iron. Oh shit, reshare. Holy dude, this group, man, this is not looking great. Oh, this is not looking great. Well, what does that mean? Can you give me some computer water, please? What's the possibility of something like that happening? Because 32 is not my lucky number. Did you get me any? Did you get my message? These guys are from North Korea. No sense in even trying. Reshare, Holy Dot. Did you get me some water? Did you hear me some? I'll just fucking go slow with the shit. He's going in there. Alright, now. Okay, I guess we've got this figured out then. Despite my doubts to begin with. I guess he's level 70. At least me and the tank are. I have been so fucking tired, dude. It's like, took sodium out of my diet. Oh, I'm fucking tired. Super tired. They say it takes a few weeks. Today's like day 5 or 6 or something. Like just fucking, like military grade heroin. I feel like I fucking just, like a slug. I could hardly wake up all day. I think that's part of it though. Crush him. At least he knows how to tank. At the end of the day, fucking. If no one else is if no one else is taking damage and he knows how to tank, then we're good. At least for now. Oh, cool. Well, good for that guy. I have one less level to complain about then. But we got rid of, okay, so American Chud. I thought he was a rogue. Yeah, so whatever. We'll be alright. People do know what they're doing. Really, surprisingly. He should have about 250,000 threat on the other 4 ads here after that. We sit there, get a goddamn fall asleep and a consecrate with a sleeping bag and everything. Like, oh, I'm just gonna take a nap right here, right? Like, you should have so much threat. Like, it should be impossible to pull these things off of you 10 minutes later. But this is honestly, like, if I had to guess in heroics and shit, or when they play heroic, where if your character dies, you have to fucking live in your parents' basement until you're 100. Uh, they probably play more like this, where like the tank, fucking everything's like a raid boss pretty much, which is probably the way it should be done. But it's like sometimes it makes shit go super slow. I don't know if these things fear or not. I don't think they do. But the Pally tank's doing 1,000 DPS with his fucking poop gear. Yeah, I don't have the patience to play heroic or hardcore or whatever. That'd be so. I've just fucking. I don't like leveling that much. That's all. Yeah, I'd imagine in heroics everything's fucking paladin tank probably. We got this, man. We got this. Guild kicked automatically. Oh shit. Whirling Dervish. He's got a flask. Does he have a flask? Are you challenging me to a death match? Cool. And we all have Shadow Resist buff now? Just kind of hoping for a second to do it before, but... It's not really this guy's fault that he didn't buy me water, but I definitely asked him to. Right. It was one of those buy me a few stacks now and I can get you a few stacks later kind of things. Gross. $600 million, dude. Christopher Nolan. $600 million. Gross. Which is one of my favorite stories. Like, here's the thing, though, is I can't imagine Oh Brother anything being better than Oh Brother Where Art Thou, following the same storyline, sort of, right? It is heavily influenced by that story. What a perfect movie Oh Brother Where Art Thou was. crazy. This guy, you give him a hard time, dude. Doesn't take damage or nothing. What the fuck is going on? What wasn't really, but like, I'm sitting there thinking, like, I've wiped on this before, not that long ago with the level 70 tank in that had, like, pretty good gear. I know it's not as complicated as people make it, but some gladiators. The thing is, I don't want a PvP set of shadow gear. I really want to get the fucking holy gear, discipline and all that. Like, the spec I'll actually PvP as, although I know that there is like viable Shadow Priest rogue 2v2s and stuff, but if I'm not necessarily searching for and finding people even on my mage, something I'm familiar with, and the likelihood of me just finding somebody on my priest is like even slimmer. What the fuck was that? You just lag. He just teleported on my screen. Did you guys see that? Yeah, that's not my fault. Yeah, I'm like, did I fucking do something there? Like, what the fuck? That was right. Did anybody else see that? Um, Internet? What was the consensus there? Fucking teleported. Get Mr. Warcraft on the phone right now. Let me speak to your wife. Right. Do you know your husband is a fucking idiot? Oh. Yeah, I'm like, that was tough to play catch up with after. Oh, really? So, because they stopped intermittently, what's the word here? Stopped bombing Iran for a day or two. know what I mean? And what time is it? I have time. I've got 2.5 hours still. We might just be able to make it. The first boss. Oh, the Warlock Amulet. Yeah. Oh, all these quests. I guess I'm supposed to have that. War Chief, Legionnaires, Fellenbers. Yeah, that was bizarre. That guy totally teleported in real life too. You know. Well, let's be glad that that wasn't heroic or hardcore mode or whatever. Uno momentos. There we go. Right. Chimpy. I guess that's your monkey's name. If we had it, it just if we don't focus DPS on anything at all, like the thing that Skull was like the fourth thing to die. What's priority cloth guy or I always thought the big guys are the ones that's supposed to die first there. Right? priority target there. Yeah, also that. And also, we want to hear you say one bad thing about Kim Jong Un just to make sure. Oh, oh. Suddenly they're. Oh, I get to hear you. It is so much of. There's so much of static. Right. No, we want you to say something bad about Kim Jong Un. Oh, it must have. It must be a bad connection. Oh no, we got the frost trap. Oh no, we got the dogs. God damn it, wrong person. I fucking clicked him and accidentally clicked it off and shielded myself. Then again, he is Shadow. He can also shield himself too, you know. Whoa. Hello? Earth Matilda, what the fuck was that? Are you there? What was that about? Hello? 17 more waters to the end of this. God, that sucks. Hopefully he didn't, because like max level water and all that shit. This is gonna be tough. Last time this was tough. And this time it's probably also gonna be tough. But if you get a frost trap down, I think he asked that earlier. It'd be way less difficult. Never mind, I guess we don't need it. we got that objective complete. Now we've got like a whole bunch more things that we need to do. How's the fucking Lord of the Rings viewing party going? It's honestly not a terrible idea, but Discord, like anything that's like a public social media platform where like private servers are different. Like if you were to do like a streaming party where there's always some licensure thing, you know, where like, oh, you know, but since Discord, like screen sharing is not like the most monitored feature on the planet, no pun intended, like you can screen share and do like a thing without having to worry about your shit getting banned. Whereas like if you did a copyright infringing North Korean Odyssey stream share thing on YouTube, not YouTube, but on X or YouTube or whatever, you know, you get insta banned for like um, sharing or showing copyrighted material. But since Discord has private servers, I guess, right? Like it's less monitored, but I mean, I wouldn't bank on that. You know, there are probably still people who get in trouble for doing the shit, but it's not like I don't think you get auto banned by the shit, do you? Where like YouTube, they've got like an algorithm that immediately will like take down any of your stuff that's copyright violating or whatever. Yeah, that's better there. Because these things Mortal Strike, and that makes it difficult sometimes. The thing though, man, I'm telling you, like the comment earlier was, and like you know, you ever have those things where like you get like a full like mental image of something just by like someone chiming in with like one word. You're like, oh, fucking complete picture kind of thing, right? You know, you get to find, oh, that's all I needed, right? Not eureka, but oh shit. Like all of a sudden, yeah, no, with just that little bit there, like now I have a full picture of how the thing works or whatever, like what could work. I'll explain it before I wipe my raid. But the thing is that what I thought was interesting, and I don't know if this is where things are headed. Maybe they are eventually or not. But Apple TV commented that that show Neuromancer, right? And they're like, yeah, it's tune in on fucking January 22nd or whatever for it's apparently like an old science fiction novel that people used to read or comics or something. And the thing they reported was Jack in, right? And that's like the headline for the thing. And the guy Jack that invented Twitter and all and Cash App and all that stuff, he commented like something on it saying, "Oh, I'm in," you know, like, "Oh, well, you know, funny, right?" Uh, but the thing is like it's the type of show like Mr. Robot, you know, you would like to see, you know, potentially in the future where a person that has a character, you know what I mean? Like people associate Jack with like the kind of like the Mr. Robot scene in real life and all that stuff, where the type of thing is like I don't know if he is or isn't a good actor or not, but it would be the you know in the future potentially like a show you could imagine people actually sitting down and watching would be using AI to create content with people that have that kind of like he's like a prime example for that kind of thing, you know, a believable like you would believe if he were on a show like that, even if where like Mr. Robot was a fictional character technically, but for people that like have that character in real life, you know how they put Elon Musk in the not Superman movie was it? Oh, Iron Man. That's right. They put him in the Iron Man movie, right? Like people that you would believe, but like you can't necessarily do that without AI. But you could sit there and think in the future though, like people that have that kind of persona publicly and are known for that would be AI would be like the thing that you could use to actually license out their likeness to make content that is AI generated, but then doesn't qualify as slop, right? Like anything that bridges the gap from AI, like where does AI become like AI generated content? At what point in time is it no longer slop? You're like, well, that's in my mind, that's something that kind of would help bridge the gap from like, well, just AI generated slop to AI, what do they call it? Enhanced content or whatever, which I think would be cool. I would watch that show for sure. Whereas currently, though, the idea that like I don't know if the guy does or doesn't. I'm sure he would learn how to act if he ever knew how, or if he ever had to. But the point, like, people being able to license out their likeness for a show, like, yeah, the guy doesn't have to get off his couch or do anything. Probably love that idea. And but that's kind of the thing that I saw earlier, like, or at least the picture that came to mind when they said that. I'm like Mr. Robot, but with like a guy everybody knows that like fucking isn't a fictional character. You know what I mean? That would probably be wildly popular in some circles, right? But because that show was super popular, but you know, and the reason why is that character was relatively believable, you know. But there are people like that in real life, you know, that just probably don't know how to act, don't have the time. The cost benefit thing here, like how much time it takes to go film a TV show versus how much time the person actually has to film a TV show versus like what they could actually pay you to do it, this, that, and the other thing. You're like, it just might not calculate technically, you know. But if it's something where they're like, well, minimal effort on your part, you just sign a thing that license out your likeness to be used in AI generated or enhanced content, then it wouldn't be so difficult or whatever. Arduous, I guess would be the word. It'd be more reasonable to try and do that kind of thing. Again, come here now. Let me do it. But it might start off with like, oh well, you know, people that kind of qualify for that content for that. It's like I think it's the best example I can come up with, and then eventually it gets to the point where like, no, then you can see yourself in a TV show. You know, once you know what I mean, the resources are scarce currently, so the ability to put anyone into a TV show, it exists, but does it math? You know, does it math? It doesn't math. You know, it probably doesn't math. You know, it's like super expensive to do because it requires how many hours of aggregate compute and all that stuff, and access to the right AIs to do it. You know, and currently you can't go prompt an entire movie to be made that I'm aware of. You know what I mean? You can get a subscription and get like 15-second snippets of video and try to piece together a movie doing that, but you can't necessarily prompt an entire movie to be made because the amount of resources it requires. But for people that have, I'm trying to think of more examples, people that have that kind of like that persona, that like people like they have a character that's actually them in real life, you know, type of guy. Like if it weren't our reality, you would expect to see them in a TV show or something, right? I thought that'd be cool, that AI generated content and stuff eventually. That would bridge the gap from just slop, right, which is basically content for content's sake, low quality garbage. And one of the things they did say, and I don't know how true it is, but it kind of makes sense. They're like, well, in the age of AI, you know, everything's AI currently. Uh, it's not necessarily the most inventive thing that gets to be the most popular thing because AI can like even the workload. You know what I mean? To where some unexpected individuals will be able to accomplish what wouldn't have been possible just a few years ago. So the idea is which person for a company has the most interesting story is sometimes more important than who has the best product, because AI, you know, isn't that way just yet, but you can see how it's headed that way more and more, you know, where people want to tune into the show, the public theater, you know, and see kind of what's going on. And that's the company they patronize, you know, and Elon Musk is an example of somebody that um, as good as he is at running a business, he's also equal parts entertaining. So the public, when they go buy SpaceX stock, they're buying a ticket to the Elon Musk show. You know what I mean? And they're buying like a stake in the production and all the stuff that goes along with it. Like, what's he gonna do next? Fucking, I'd really like to see him use his drunken spoiled whore video playset, but we haven't gotten to that one. We haven't gotten to that yet. I'm gonna see him throw his feces at somebody else. Yeah, yeah. That's the Elon Musk show I'm trying to watch. But that's the point, though. Like, and like proof for the thing here. Proof is in the pudding. Oh, that was a terrible Bill Cosby. But uh, yeah, they're putting him in that goddamn Tony Stark movie. You know what I mean? Everybody said he's like the real life Tony Stark. You know, that was still is and was for like a while. Like the thing there. Oh yeah, like fucking rockets and stuff and robots and stuff, right? What was that movie with Robert Downey Jr. where he was on coke real bad and he blew all those dudes? Less Than Zero. Yeah, blowing a bunch of dudes on coke. Yeah, there's also that. He's just like Robert Downey Jr. But those are the two guys. That's the two examples I can come up with. I'm like, where you would like, oh, okay, well, fuck. You know, people like to see Elon on Saturday Night Live and all that stuff. And he did a pretty good job, better than most of the people that are comedians and all that shit, right? So, yeah, I think it's an idea that works, and it is something that helps get it out of the category of AI slop for the sake of AI generated garbage for the sake of generating garbage, I guess. But oh shit, give me just a minute. Let me drink to full. Oh, oh, I wish you wouldn't have. I wish you wouldn't have done that. Either way, I'm just drinking. We'll be all right. I don't have any mana potions in my bag. Really? Hit the fucking sort button. God damn it. Gloves of oblivion, rendezvous, and I'm through with you. Heart in a blender. Yeah, but if you think about it in that sense, you're like, well, now would be the time to do open casting calls to do people like, exactly what the thing I just explained. People that fit into that category of like they've got a persona, like you would watch them as a believable character in a series that if whether or not they do or do not know how to actually act or not. And those are 26 and 20 hit. I need those for my shadow spec because we don't have a warlock. Where's the other preset? Oh, I can't trade it to him? I thought I could trade it to him. Either way, though, like, I healed this, but... Anyway, that's kind of the thanks for the day. Does that make sense? I'm sure it does. Well, it is now 6 o'clock, so we have 2 hours worth of time. I'm trying to think of somebody else, though. I'm really trying to think of, like... But I believe that's where... I believe that's the thing, like, I'm thinking... I didn't think of it till today. I'm like, shit, dude, yeah, no, like, him as, like, a Mr. Robot character. I'm like, yeah, I would watch that TV show. For sure. Whereas, like, if it were a fictional character, I might not. You know what I mean? Fictional characters, right? Fictional characters. And something I saw the other day, or something I saw earlier too, was Netflix has started this thing called like Instadoc or something. I'm like scrolling through. I'm like, how the fuck did you get in a video game so fast? There was a documentary about the World Cup on Netflix already. The shit was just like yesterday, right? They're like, and these are all these guys that make all their money on Polymarket. I'm like, I can't watch this. I can't watch this. These guys, I cannot watch the shit. Fucking laser leveled zigzag facial hair. I'm like, I've got to do something else. I can't see these guys fucking doing big things and me just sitting here suffering. Like, I can't fucking do it right now. Yeah, I made all my money on Polymarket. Like, oh, I figured. I figured. The next step, I can't necessarily, because I'm like, there's got to be some sort of required skill or prowess to be good at it, but like, what's the next step is meme coins, though. I know that for a fact. That's funny you should say that. I actually am launching a meme coin today. Right? Funny you should say that. Yeah, that's the thing is, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know where my ear was ringing either. But we can ditch all these 27, 26, because in all honesty, I really could benefit more from 20 spell hit than anything else. So anything that gets a piece of this gear out of my bags. Pieces of gear. Yeah, we did good there, man, really. Kind of slow, but shit. If it weren't for the guy getting teleported around. Hit, crit. Yeah, I don't fucking know. Whatever. Whatever. Anyway, I'll be right back. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do another instance or if I should just farm on my mage for like an hour or two and get some extra golds. Hello, hello, Jerry. The Jerry Alliance. Can you hear me? I guess my. Hello? You can hear me still? Anyway, so all this for a thing. We got. Let's grab all of our greens. And then make sure that we can try to auction off as much of this shit as we can. And all these other auctions expired, so yeah, my sound is messed up. That's lame, but whatever. Yeah, it sucks that we're starting Black Temple and all that shit soon, and I'm like playing an alt of all things, right? And I get to where if I get my shit in line, then like by the time that Black Temple starts, I should have at least probably potentially my TK and SSC attunement done. Then I can loot sponge on my priest possibly, and then after a little while, have enough gear to be able to run my priest through Black Temple, and then that way hopefully both guilds have a shadow priest. It's like that requires a little bit more of my time, but if I enjoy doing this shit, then whatever. So we'll sell all our greens. I can't imagine why some of these things are selling for that much, but whatever. 5. Call it StarCraft. You could call it StarCraft. Honey, do you like the name StarCraft? Alright. Now, I hope soon I can start using destruction potions and stuff. going to hold on to these 2 stamina necklaces and shadow resist pants for Shazra, whatever. I wish I knew how much shadow resist you need and start buying all of it now, but oh, this shit's expensive. Anything in level, yeah. Crazy. Yeah, that's not a great idea. A lot of greater planers, though. Hello? 2 helmets, a glove, and a chest. I'm saving all that shit for, not PvP, but yeah, no, PvP. I need to try and get points this week on something. Mana potions for my alt. Sound is muted. Saving all this shit for after the expansion or whatever next month or mid next month or whatever. And that way. People have to buy the enchants and shit, so they are more likely to buy like void crystals and stuff. Although I think adept elixirs and like I need to try and sell down some of these things because unless there are people that prefer the adept elixirs and the intellect dranic wisdom thing over a flask. I have all these left and they're super expensive. Make a lot of gold. Make a lot of gold. And all that. But for nights like tonight where it's just gruel, or Magtheridon rather, it's like, yeah, you shouldn't necessarily need to pop a flask or whatever, but it's also a fun time to try and parse Elvis Parsley. Heard that while I was sleeping the other day, woke up laughing. Elvis Parsley. Anyway, what I made today, and I do feel more awake now, like, just fucking one of them days, dude. They really do think, they say, like, the sodium in your system, whatever, get flushing it out of your kidneys and stuff. They say there's like a week or two of being lethargic, and hopefully by the time it's over with, though, I'm more energized, you know. Yeah, man. I guess until we start getting like the wearables and stuff, there's not going to be like a device like an iPod or an iPhone that people. I say wearables, but like the fucking headbands and the wristbands and stuff where you can shit read your mind basically, right? At least lets you control video games and such. I can't imagine people are ever going to be like excited about like a new device quite like they were about all that stuff. Even things like the Apple Watch were not nearly as at least in my mind like popular as like the phone and the iPod. Dude, the iPod was the shit though. It was one of the very few times besides like an actual computer itself that I was like trying to get my parents like, this is what I want. I know for sure, right? I want a fucking iPod. Because at the time burning CDs and everything, and had a stack of CDs. And like, hey, you know what's cool about this? Like, if you change the audio format, right? Uh, you can change the audio format from whatever the fuck a CD is, which is like basically a digital record, versus a MP3 is like a digitized thing, like an actual digitized audio codec or whatever. Whereas like CDs, I believe, are based off play length, like a record is, and then a codec for MP3 is actual like compression and decompression and all that. So with traditional CDs, we could store songs as files, and it would store as an MP3, and it would store based on storage, so like 750 megabytes or whatever versus 80 minutes of play, right? And then 750 megabytes on a CD was actually like 60 or 70 songs, you know, or more. Whereas like, well, that's like fucking just by changing the settings on how you burned it and all that stuff. So then the goal at that point in time was, how do I find a CD player that supports MP3? And then I found a CD player that supported MP3. And then I'm like, and then the next thing I see on TV is like the iPod is like, oh shit, you mean, you know, I'm like, okay, I'm like that is fucking awesome, right? I have a stack of these CDs. I still probably have some of them somewhere that I was like burning onto. One of my first hustles was whenever Eminem released a CD or whatever, and I burned a bunch of copies of it and sold it to kids at school for like $4 or $5 each. And not a lot of people knew that you could tinker with the settings, you know, and get it to save as burn as an MP3 format. And then like a lot of car CD players, but everybody was burning CDs. I forget whatever the codec is, or if you can call it a codec, but like you know what I mean, a CD player format. And then you switch it over to MP3 and you burn the files and burn the songs as files and store in the thing. Reads the files and plays the audio versus just playing the audio is like a record. I didn't watch a video explaining it, but if I had to guess, if it's based on play length, then it's probably more like a record than it is like storing files as information. And I'm like, oh, cool! You can fit like a 5 albums on one disc, right? And then I found a Walkman, a Sony Walkman, I believe, that had that was MP3 compatible. I'm like, you mean to tell me that you can just, you know, like, like one of these, a whole stack of CDs you need for this normally, right? And then like a year later, that summer, Apple introduced the iPod, and I was like, I get this, you know, I understand this, right? Fucking Nexus key, dude. Cloak of the Frigid Winds. Where does that drop? No shit. 25 and 24? Is that better? I should have gotten that, dude. I didn't fucking get that during the Midsummer Festival. I didn't know that there was an upgrade. Yeah, this guy's got all best in slot gear. Boots of Blasting are good. Wow, this guy's gear is crazy good. And he rocks a Serpent Coil Braid and a Sextant. Boba Tea. Yeah. Crazy. He's got the Verdant Spear. What does he have for his neck? Just a 33 damage neck. So what's better? I would have to say 28 damage and 23 crit. Is that has to be better than 36 damage, right? So but the thing is, I'm really hoping to get the goddamn staff off Illidan and all that. Yeah, I believe my spec is correct. I don't think I need to adjust anything. I don't think there's any fights where I resist anything anyway. Would be nice though. Can you sort by that aren't super goddamn expensive, please? Thank you. Come on now. Why is it doing that? Sort by. Why is it doing that? Oh, there we go. 1,400, one gold bid, 400 gold buyout. That's weird. Alright, now send a bunch of these to my alt. I guess I'm either gonna log. I got an hour and a half still. God damn it. And I really should do Black Morass on my alt so I can do Karzon sometime before reset. I don't know why my ear was ringing earlier. I'm like, I know there's a reason for it. I don't know what reason though. That's all. Here, I'm gonna relog and get my sound working. Right, guys? There it is. Looking like a real character now. like in this space between spaces, man, there's like all I need to do is find a few instances to get just enough gear to where I don't have to that I can get into heroics, then it won't matter. But my gear's not quite good enough to heal a heroic, I don't think. Although it probably is, really. But the people in groups are like always so fucking particular about the shit. Don't you look at me, motherfucker. Alright, well, I'll be right back then. Hello. Unless you're Matt Damon. In which case. This is shitty. We cannot find a... One, 3, 3, 7. Oh, I can train. Get my shadow protection book and my prayer of fortitude book. For what? For Karzan? You don't have to do the goddamn attunement for the fucking thing? I could just queue up for it? Really? Even SSC and BT and RLFO, ROFL and LMAO? No shit. So I can fucking... Oh, Jerry, you just made this little girl's dream come true. So the attunements are account wide, so I don't have to do all this shit, basically. Just empty out your quest logs. Cool. Are you sure? It's a convenience fucking... It's one of those things like I sit there and bitch. They need to make this game more difficult. They really do, but that's awesome. So I can do car and shit this week. Wow. Cool, 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 cool. All that other stuff, I don't have to do all that other stuff. It's like figuring out you didn't get selected for jury duty. You could have had the robot butler. Right. Yeah, everybody remembers the robot butler. Could have had the robot butler. Yeah, I didn't know that. I've been doing all these quests all day trying to get it tuned. Did they... In WoW, TBC, Classic, Fresh, did they change... Your attunements are account wide? That is awesome. Now, I can ask my guild if I'm allowed to get my priest in. I might just be able to do Gruul or Magtheridon with the shit, in all honesty. Yeah. Yeah, that would be great. Much I like playing my mage. There's no attunement for Magtheridon either. But I'll ask and see, and like if it gets to where we can't, I'm sure it'll be fine. Go shadow. Then I can have my shadow priest join Defias Rebels and have my mage in the Enclave, and that's like, I guess, I don't know why they have two guilds, but whatever. I guess for guys that have two characters. But then, or, you know, like, and then switch between and hop on either or, depending on the situation or whatever. Like, if we need two shadow priests. I don't, like, I do not want to quit my mage, though. Obviously, that's like my favorite thing in the world, but besides peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Right. Yeah, dude, I'm all for it. Yep. People like the ideas, I'm sure. Yeah, I didn't know, dude. I can do Meg Theriot on my priest. They should have to let me. Like, you mean to tell me you really need me on my fucking character for this? Really? All right. Well, I'll do whatever, but I'd prefer to get uh, some loot sponge from that. Try to, cause the guy Harry Portis has like 10 characters, and he just sits there AFK on his other mages and all that stuff on Gruul. I know I have to tank the goddamn Gruul fight still, but in all honesty, maybe somebody else should. You know, like because I don't have two accounts, I only have one, and yeah, whatever. Cool. Yeah, I had no idea. I wasn't even thinking either. Like Discord, like what the fuck? Yeah, I guess I could just do it on my. I didn't realize. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about it. Just do the shit on your. Pop up Kara. This content. Shit. Yeah, they're gonna do a whatchamacallit tonight too. Let's see. Perfect. What's up? Shit. Forgot I was in the queue. It's like that time almost or something. Cool. Neat. I'm one of the cool kids now. I have an alt. spamming the chat now. It's general though. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. What what do we do? Oh yeah, no, shadow protection books and all that shit. That'd be great, man, to do a Karzon, a Shadow Priest or heal or whatever. Get a good practice healing and shit too. Actually, would probably be better. I don't have any like raid frame setup or macros or anything, but do it the old good old fashioned way. For the world, that's the old guy from Brooks was here. Before the world got itself in a big hurry with them highfalutin fucking WoW macros, and before the world went and got itself in one big hurry, right? Idiot, you fucking idiot. Do it the old fashioned way, right? Before the world went and got itself in one big hurry, god damn it. Right. If you laugh at that, then we have the same exact sense of humor. Then we can definitely be friends. The world went and got itself in one big hurry. Oh man, make myself laugh. Anyway, where on earth? Okay, focus for like just 5 fucking so. I stopped taking my creatine though. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. If you like, here's the thing: when I was a butcher at like a meat shop, you have to memorize like a whole sheet of these like 4-digit numbers for everything, and you have to remember all this shit. And I could always remember like the first 2 digits, and I had to look and see the next two. And like, I swear to God, I took creatine. It was like 2016, you know, like for the first time ever. And the next day, I could memorize numbers 2 digits longer, and probably even longer than that. But I went from being able to memorize like the first two numbers in the chart to creatine. Very next morning, I swear, like I wouldn't make this shit up. Next morning, I could memorize 4-digit numbers. How crazy is that? From creatine, a weightlifting supplement. And it's interesting to think that like, yeah, it's actually a nootropic. Who would have thought? And I very rarely, you know, people always say like, well, if you try minced garlic and olive oil and this, that, and the other thing, it's supposed to help fight cancer or whatever. But this is one of those few things where like, no, night and day difference. One day, it took it one day, the very next day, um, could memorize numbers, longer numbers. Thought that was neat. But it does make you wonder that like if that's the case with something just like creatine, then there's got to be like the real deal limitless drugs and real deal nootropics and things that like actually, you know, enhance your memory and all that stuff. Um, and like that's like something people go, well, that's like a myth or whatever, an urban legend or. But the thing is like, well, if just creatine, an off-the-shelf Walmart, you know, weightlifting supplement can improve your memory overnight in just one day, then definitely I'm sure that there are some real deal like limitless drugs and nootropics and things that can do even more than that, more than likely. Codex of Shadow Protection, rank 2. I don't need I need the book. Okay, there's the book, and then there's Fortitude. If you knew how to spell. Does it teach you how to spell? It doesn't teach you how to do it. Prayer of Fortitude. Yeah, these things were so expensive. 48. There's Prayer of Shadow Protection, Prayer of Fortitude. Prayer of Fortitude rank 3. And I don't have rank 1 of the Shadow thing, do I? I have regular. I do have prayer shadow protection. Get that off my bar, dude. It can take forever. Awesome. We are 100% awesome now. We are 100% awesome right now. Now that other guy had the improved power ward fortitude, right? I have that. How that other guy like? So can you spec for a better fortitude as discipline? Be helpful if I familiarize myself. Wow. So that, in all honesty, man, like that's a good thing to have. Because I kept trying to buff it the other day and it wouldn't let me. And I'm like, how the fuck does that guy's thing have 100 stamina? But now we know. Where is Sacred Candle? Get a bunch of water from the water vendor. Where's the drink vendor? There's not like a bar around here. Carmela, my saving grace. He's doing a pug cars on tonight. Uh-huh. Where do they sell? You got all these chicken legs on the table and all that stuff, but uh water vendor, wow, TBC, class, and nothing. Iron Forge. Fizzle Springers. Gwena Fire Brew. Gwena Paltrow. Gwena Stefani. Old Gwena Stefani. Where? Locations, coordinates. And the reason why it works is it's like people that, not to say aren't famous, but haven't acted, and like the reason why everything on TV is total shit is because actors are paid liars, and more often than not, they aren't believable. But if you see a person play a role that they are believable in, then it becomes that much more interesting, you know? So, like, some people's, uh, the thing might be, This is all they sell. Like, well, just because the person hasn't acted before, you know what I mean? That's like the thing. That's what makes it believable. That the people doing this shit won't be actors, you know? Really. What a monumental oversight. The person that sells water in Ironforge doesn't sell level 70 water. Oh, all these quests. But I'm trying to think of more people. You know what I mean? People like, yeah, I don't know, dude. The only two examples I can come up with are Jack and Elon. People that you would say like you would believe them in a role in a movie, not because they know how to act. So, because even if they don't, you know what I mean. The point would be to use AI to use their likeness in a movie and to see their persona, you know. But the reason why you'd want to see it is because, well, that's believable. You know what I mean? It would be believable at that point. Whereas if it's Matt Damon playing Werner von Braun or whatever, you're like, yeah, that's not very believable. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't really know. But that's one of those things too, though. Is that guy? I forget Rami Malek or not Sam Raimi? Rami Malek, the guy that was from, the guy that's actually from, and he's a geoguesser. He plays that geoguesser game, and he's super good at it. Uh, the guy who played Mr. Robot, right? So like a person that's believable because they do kind of live the part and all that. Mark Hamill. In all honesty, dude, Mark Hamill, because he's one of those guys that like, I get the impression that like, at some point in time, he's like, well, it's a fucking big shoes to fill, right? It's like talk about peaking, the most infamous movie role, whatever movie role of all time. And what was he like, 20 years old in his 20s, early 30s or whatever? You know, and he always does them goddamn voiceovers and all that stuff. But you'd like to see that guy do movies and stuff too. Not that he doesn't know how to act, but he's always done that one role, right? Like probably pretty big shoes to fill, you know what I mean? So he probably, as much as he could in real life, try to live up to the role, you know what I mean? Other than the fact that he hates Donald Trump or whatever for whatever reason, but uh, you get the impression that like, not to say you become the character, but those are big shoes to fill, right? And I'm sure he's done a certain amount of self-educating and improving himself to be, and I know this sounds so gay and retarded and lame, but whatever, it's like for the kids or whatever, as much like a Jedi in real life as possible. That way, you know what I mean, to live up to the character. That way, when people meet him in real life, it's not just, okay, we get it. You cardboard lightsaber guy, right? It's like, no, he's probably educates himself on science stuff and takes the shit pretty seriously, more than likely. And it's one of those things like, would he have done that if he weren't famous for playing Luke Skywalker? Maybe, I don't know, but people are definitely paying attention. Oh, I guess we gotta socket our gear. We could get meta gems and all that stuff now that we actually have a group. It would be appropriate to have like an actual thing in your helmet. And this is run speed and damage. And I need 2 yellows and 1 red. Well now. Robe of Oblivion. Grant Rancher pet 45. So 2 yellow, 1 red. I need 1 red, and then I need to put 2 yellows, 2 oranges, and a blue in there, and I can. All that for 12 spell damage to be able to DPS my priest. But now, I'll be hit capped. I have the 2p set bonus, which gives my pet 45 MP5, which is retarded, because it's a warlock set bonus. But, whatever. Alright, now. Well, like, look. So, those are 29. These are 26 and 17. Now, if I can just get enough. My gear is fucking terrible, dude. 484 damage. That's gotta be about. The thing is, though, I can sponge up some gear on my character, dude. I'm glad. They should remove all food coloring from everything. Period. I know I still drink it, but still, like, they should just get rid of this shit. The reason why is because, like, for every product you go to the shelf and you buy that has food coloring, there's not like a, well, can I get that without food coloring? Like, no, they only sell it with food coloring. So you have no choice, you know, and like, if you had a choice, there's a lot of people that would say, well, can I choose the no food coloring route? Or like, yeah, that's why we're not giving you the choice, right? They just make it because they want you to eat this goddamn food coloring. That's garbage. There's no need for the shit. I'm against, in all honesty, I mean, advertising is important, but I would say that you could just use black and white labels on everything. You know what I mean? Because the non-toxic, no bisphenol A inks or whatever chemical they use to print labels and all that. You're like, they could very well just do that with a fucking marker or a crayon or whatever. There's no need to be. I know advertising is important. That's how they sell the product or whatever. But if we could all agree that, well, can we buy it because we like it and give a shit less about what the box color is, and then all the thalidomide babies and turtles and stuff will live happily ever after instead. I'm sure my sperm count will thank you if they quit putting food coloring and everything. But they won't give you the alternative. They won't give you the option. Like, I think at some point in time, that's like one of the very few times that I'm okay with government regulation, because the thing is, like, it's one of those like education things too. So not only are a lot of people not to say educated or qualified, but educated and understand the risks enough to say that food coloring is totally just fucking the biggest scam ever. You know what I mean? It really is. There are like people that are like, yeah, I hear it's not good for you, but if it doesn't make me sick today, it doesn't kill me tomorrow, then of course I'm going to do it. Food coloring is one of those things though that like there's no, it doesn't enhance the product in any way, shape, or form in a meaningful way. So what reason? Well, like why any risk at all if there's no benefit to it? Seems like a conspiracy to me. Really, it does. Same with printing inks and things. I understand they have to print labels on stuff, but they could certainly reduce the amount of shit that they have to print and what colors they use and healthy inks and all that stuff. My dad worked as an engineer at a printing place for a period of time, silkscreen printing and stuff, right? And he got burned. He got ink on his leg at some point in time and got actually sick from it after the fact, and is still sick from the shit, right? The idea that like, yeah, well, that they print like all the labels on Pepsi and all the labels on Coca-Cola and everything else. The chemicals they use to print those inks and stuff are like terrible for you. You know, anything food coloring, I'm like, this shit is just why even do it? I understand a certain amount of advertising is required, but like if you buy a box of something, right? If you label the outside of the box to sell the product, why does each individual can need to be labeled? You know, with all these different yellow 5s, green 6s, and purple 15s or whatever. Like the box itself has it, the cans on the inside, cause essentially, I mean, other than just the indicators of what they are, you know, and then all the food coloring and shit they add, like, I can understand why an advertising company would not want to part with like making the package vibrant to sell it to the customer, but when you're like, well, these fucking flavor things I'm drinking are like super good, but they look like Windex, and I'm like, don't they just sell the clear version of these? No, well, you know, they don't, but there's no reason they can't. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I smell a conspiracy. Or a fart. Mostly a fart. Oh no. Barack Obama. Fucking Barack Obama calling me? Why is Barack Obama calling me? Oh, yeah, right. Barack Obama from Mortal Kombat. Barack Obama. Barack Obama. I don't necessarily want to spend like 50 gold. There's green quality gems that will save me a whole shitload of money. Teardrop. Where is just the... We don't need agility. I'm trying to be a team player. But it doesn't appear that there's any of these on there, dude. Do they not sell? Do they really not sell just like, they really don't sell fucking, god damn it. There's not like a ghetto version of that? Flame. Potent. There we are. Mostly potent flame. Sissy SpaceX or whatever it says. Specerites. Alright, now. And that is a spirit gem. I have to consult Bitters and ask him what the fuck to do with this. And see if he can't give me an answer. So we need 1 red, 2 yellows. Do these meet both requirements? That qualifies as a red. That qualifies as a red. There we go. Simple as that. Yes, awesome. Socket all this shit with damage and crit, I guess. $20 hit, 26 damage. Because now I'm hit capped. Cool. Anything helps. Anything at all. And they might want me to heal. And if I have to heal, I should have some spirit gems and some other stuffs. I can start now. No, but I thought we were... Where... Where on earth, dude? Where's the fucking chat? I was just looking at the thing. Well, that's tough for me, man, because he said on the thing the raid signups that it said a quick mag. Well, I kind of need both, and I'm already signed up. Fuck. It's already 7:15. And blue socket. Okay, cool. Cool. Now we all win. If we do Gruul Mag fast enough, we can do a Kara after, and then everybody wins. Everybody wins. Carmaladin's his name. He's from the Alpha Centauri star cluster. Maybe Theriath? Mana etched this, mana etched that. Hollowed pauldrons. What are there to heal? Orange healing. Yep, I don't really know what I don't know what they... Potent. I don't know what the healing gems are for priest or whatever. Luminous? Oh, there is a luminous. Oh, yes, great. Good, good, good. Now we need a spirit gem. And that is... What's the name of it? I had it somewhere. Sparkling Star. I bring potions and a flask and everything. Where? Oh, this... Cool. And we can get rid of some of this other shit. We have a preferred set now. You Yeah, I guess, man. I guess my gear's as good as it needs to be. 504 damage. It's pretty shitty, but. Oh. Clear up some of this bag space so I don't need this many pairs of pants. So we've got those. Now if we put on our encanters, this is what we want. The rest of this shit can go in the garbage. Keep a pair of healing pants. Vendor those. There's a lot extra bag space now. And I've got, here's the thing though. I have to buy a flask on a second character. Shit. Flask for priest. Wow. TBC classic. Flask of Mighty Restoration or Flask of Pure Death. So, Mighty Resto then. And those are 25 MP5. It's like a lot of gold. Probably just need one of them. I have all those Adept elixirs and shit on my other character though. I don't think they're gonna care, but fuck. Oh, I fucking left. Even though you're not tricking me into thinking that you're not still an Ironforge. You're just a lazy piece of shit. You don't want to help me, that's all. He portaled from Ironforge to Ironforge. He's like, I can't do it again. Where? Mage, deport me to Shat, please. That person's AFK. Very nice of you. Saved me having to trek all the way goddamn across the entire internet planet. God, a pizza sounds so good right now, dude. I haven't had like a. I've eaten fast food like 2 times in the last 8 months, maybe 3 times altogether. So much salt. It would be fucking, dude. I'd be sick if I ate a pizza right now. I guarantee you that. If I ate an entire pizza, I'd be fucking sick. When I quit drinking soda when I was younger, I remember the very first time I had like a Mountain Dew after that, I was like, oh, it took a day to get out of bed and recover. I can't believe attunements are character wide now. That's so cool. I can show up on one of my alts. I would think that they hopefully don't have a problem with me showing up to a Magtheridon to get a piece of gear or something, possibly tier whatever piece, shoulders or whatever. Mostly disenchant the shit anyway. Come on now. Such a conundrum. It doesn't matter. Well, now. Be right back in just a few minutes. makes my life so much simpler knowing I don't have to get all these attunements done. Because that means that I can loot sponge on my Shadow Priest at some point in time. And then eventually, potentially get a raid spot somewhere. I do need like a weak auras add-on though that tells me the debuffs and all that stuff, but butt stuff. Did somebody say butt stuff? I don't think I said butt stuff, did I? Did I say butt stuff? Did anybody else say butt stuff? No. I don't want to duplicate it. I want to create a new. Go to display. The thing here is that display trigger conditions. Display trigger, not spell reflect, but debuff magic. Shouldn't matter. How the fucking thing here though? So oh, can't duplicate this one. Duplicate 10 SWP. I don't want to. Oh, what if, it's gonna show this on my other character. I don't care if the goddamn. I don't want to see the Shadow Priest debuffs on my mage. God damn it. Delete. New. I should just be able to right click and say, can't you only show this on my priest or my mage rather? How do I get this to work? Can you import based on a link? Oh, browse Wagyu for the latest. Control C to copy the URL. Hey now, they have all these on here? Okay, copy, import string. Why won't it? That's just, come on now, just wonderful. Copy import string. Now if I paste it here, we get a long string of letters and numbers, but why is it not letting me alter this? Find auras. Now how? That doesn't work. Why is it doing that now? I just had the thing working. It was just showing me all this shit. Item rack. Weak auras. Oh. Now I can reset, but the thing is, it's not showing these. Why isn't it showing these things here? Trigger. Oh, god damn it, dude. This is so much having to figure out. I'll ask, like, at least I know I can do that part though. Delete. Lame. It has two children auras, which is vampiric touch. I need to know all these things. Conditions. I don't know what this means. I'm not retarded, but this is also, there's not like any explanation. Great. My gear is fucking terrible, but it's not the worst. It's not the worst gear ever, but hopefully, if I get another flask or an adept elixirs or something for my other character, I can get some spell damage food. I got a flask of pure death still. I already sent the adept elixirs and stuff, didn't I? Now we'll see. Could be much worse, could be much better, but I think for Mag Therodon, I'm like, shit's pretty straightforward. I think if I can click a cube and all that shit, I don't think damage is the biggest deal ever, but we got mana pots. I guess head there, probably. What time is it? 9 minutes to raid. Thing is, though, is like, the fact that I'm even here, is a good thing, I think. A lot of people just fuck off when it comes to the shit they don't want to do. Like, we're 9 minutes to raid and we have 8 people online where they probably didn't see the change in the thing there or whatever. But at least I'm here. If you need me on my mage, I'll do it, but let's see what Discord says. Where is raid frames? Why is it like that, dude? I don't need all that extra shit there. Do I normally have all that? Why is it doing that? Just, you don't need to do all this, just save. Why is it doing that? There it is. Okay, good. Had me worried for a second. I think Karmala, where he is at. Cool. Cool. Why is there so many buffs on the bar there? It's all fucking bugged out. It doesn't do that on the other character. Some spell hit capped. I just need to find bidders and find out. Um, yeah, I don't know what to do. Our whole guild's not showing up. Where people don't know that we even have a raid tonight. Like they said, we have off, and then he changed the thing in the chat, and Void Dog. Hello. I'm gonna start the stream over again.